Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. We are going to get right into the weekly reading for October 27th to November 3rd for Pisces. It's going to be the last of the water sign weekly readings. By now Scorpio's already up and so is Cancer. So let's go ahead and get right into your reading, Pisces. We're going to pull out your romance angel messages and see what the angels have to say about your week. And then we'll pull out the animal spirits and your forecast. All right, we have new love. A new person is stirring your romantic feelings. Nice. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking will bring faith into your romance. Heart-to-heart conversations. So honestly discuss your feelings with each other this week, right? So this is all very nice kind of energy as far as relationships are concerned this week. What you can be looking forward to. So let's go ahead and pull out your animal spirits. Now, animal spirits aren't necessarily... I know people have commented on other videos that they have a particular animal spirit they associate with, and that's fine, right? You may associate with a particular animal spirit like the eagle or the wolf, you know, or the elk or what have you, as your personality or your kind of energy, your life energy, right? And that's fine. But these animal spirits that I pull here, these are just talking about energies that are coming into your life, energies that you may be surrounding you right now. They can come in and out. It's not static. You're not stuck with one spirit animal in terms of that kind of energy, right? We at different times, we embody all of the various elements of the spirit animal energies because they're all part of the different facets of the soul and the spirit. You know, as we are all part of the same consciousness, we all share these energies in some form or another. So the animal spirits only come in to show you what energies are around you right now or what specific energy essences you are pulling from your own spirit that you may be relying on to get through a particular scenario. They can also be representative of individuals that are in your life. So they don't have to necessarily represent you, but they can represent the type of people you may be interacting with right now or the type of energy that they're walking with this week. So it's all really just to get more clarity on your situation. All right, so just take what applies and what doesn't apply, disregard the rest. Straight out, we have the hummingbird, air energy. And of course, Pisces, you're water, right? You're a water sign, but that doesn't mean that at some point in your life, at some stages in your life, you may not be resonating with a little bit of hummingbird energy just because of what you're going through at that time. Same thing. Here we go. Dragonfly, more air energy. So you have a lot of air around you so far this week, Pisces. And we have the dragon, associated with the third chakra or solar plexus. Ever watchful, the dragon. All right, so let's get right into it, okay? Before we pull out your spirit, your forecast, let's look at your animal spirits. Of course, the dragon is associated with the alchemical symbol for ether or spirit, and it is a chakra animal spirit. And again, the dragon is a mythical beast, right? And yet it is associated with an animal spirit. Why? Because it is yet another facet or aspect of the essence of our soul. Our soul and the various things that we can feel and energies is so vast and intricate that these animal spirits only describe very small aspects of it and very small slivers of energy, okay, that we may be resonating with more at certain times. And so the hummingbird is, here we go, one of the really nicest personalities to be around. When somebody resonates with hummingbird, they are extremely spiritually resourceful. This is the person who is very enthusiastic, What does the hummingbird do in nature? They find the nectar, right? The nectar is what we consume to rejuvenate ourselves, right? To replenish our energy. And the hummingbird knows exactly where to go to get the best nectar, right? And so this is what we mean by this animal spirit being very spiritually resourceful. This person, everybody loves to be around someone who's resonating with hummingbird energy. The hummingbird personality is very supportive, very enthusiastic, helpful, and a great problem solver. Of course, this is air energy. Now, dragonfly is the lord of light and illusion, and the dragonfly comes in also air energy. When dragonfly is at play, it means that we're not really seeing all aspects of a particular situation. It could very well be that right now, some of the energies that play in a particular dynamic or situation that you're involved in are playing tricks on your sort of tricks with the vision, right? Not so much tricks with your mind, but sort of tricks of light, right? You may see certain things where they are not actually there, or you may perceive a scenario to be a certain way that it really isn't, right? It could be that you're perceiving animosity in a situation where there isn't animosity, or you could be perceiving that everything is fine in a situation or in a dynamic when in actuality there's a lot of turmoil. So the dragonfly energy, it's just, you know, it's an energy to let you know that right now all is not as it seems, right? It can also indicate someone who is broadening sort of their extrasensory perception skills, working much more in sort of the areas of occult or magic, or opening up the chakras, meditation, etc. Maybe even astral projection, all the things that we associate with the magic of life. And to take care that right now, if you are doing that, you have to remember to keep your feet on the ground, because oftentimes some things, you know, we can't always trust to be exactly what we think they are, right? And so it is at a time like this that it's good to sometimes take a step back from what we're doing if we're really in the work, and make sure that we maintain some groundedness, right? Because this air quality of the dragonfly can get quite airy indeed. Now the dragon itself is of course ether spirit, right? And associated with the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, and the dragon is ever watchful. The dragon comes in, and this is at a time in your life when the dragon is being very watchful that you are staying true to who you are. The dragon is really about your spiritual center and identity. Okay, it is through this, you know, the solar plexus is where we really associate sort of our fiery energy, our desire to move forward in the world comes from. Our breath, a lot of our breath control is there, right? The breath of life. And so it's really, you know, this dragon energy comes in certainly for some of us when we may be being challenged in terms of, you know, walking the walk, right? We may be given certain decisions that, you know, if we take a more difficult road and we stay in line with our moral center and who we are, it may be a more difficult road, or taking an easier road and maybe compromising our morals or our values or our spiritual center. And so the dragon comes in to remind us, you know, it's that nudging energy of, are you sure you're doing what, you know, really feels right to you? Are you sure that you're staying on your path in terms of who you are and what you represent, you know, in this life, right? What type of person you want to be in this life. And so dragon energy comes in to remind us to stay on that, right? To stay true and to stay on that path. So let's get right in, Pisces, to your spreads for the week. We're going to pull out anywhere from 4 to 8 3-card forecasts for the week, just to see what situations you may or may not be in. And of course, this isn't going to resonate with everyone. So if it doesn't apply to you, just disregard it. Okay? A lot of times I get messages and comments from people, and it's as if that, you know, kind of appalled that this is not their situation. Not all readings can be for every single Pisces on the planet. So, and certainly sometimes not even the entire reading can apply to you, especially when we're doing a general spread. So here we go. Let's see what your week may or may not hold, Pisces. And don't forget to check the placements of your other planets as well. We have the Fool, Three of Wands, and Knight of Wands. Well, you're about to start a new path, a new stage. You're probably on that path now. This could be a new job or new project. Could very well be a new business. I'm going to say for some of you, it could indeed be a new relationship that you're wanting to sort of move forward with, that you're wanting to take, because we have a Fool and then we have Three of Wands, right? So yeah, whatever the case may be, right now you are having just about to come into this really kind of new stage in your life. And again, it involves you really wanting to manifest a particular goal, right? Something that you're very passionate about. Now, sometimes, like I said a minute ago, this could be a relationship, because sometimes wands are associated with love connections, because wands is associated with fire and passion. But in any case, this week you're kind of being forced to sort of wait and hold on, right? Let things play out a little naturally. You're kind of excited to take the next step on your new path, your new journey, but right now you're in a bit of a holding pattern, and you do have a Knight of Wands coming in this week. So it could very well be that some of you, life in general, or sort of just the circumstances around this new endeavor, that right now are kind of forcing you to stand still and take stock of the lay of the land, take stock of what your next steps could or possibly be, and so that you can stand still long enough to have this influence come in, which is a Knight of Wands. I'm going to say for some of you, this Knight of Wands could very well represent someone who is very necessary to you achieving your goal. And it's almost as if you're being forced to stand still long enough so this person can come in and this connection or meeting can be made, right? This person could very much be a hummingbird type of energy individual. Someone, anyway, the Knight of Wands is very enthusiastic. He comes with a lot of sort of ambition, momentum, enthusiasm, motivation. He comes in with a lot of motivation as well. The Knight of Wands can oftentimes be the great cheerleader in a lot of ways. And in general, he helps to sort of reinvigorate the fire sometimes, and helps you sort of move forward with a particular plan, especially after you've either had to stand still or it's maybe stagnated for a little while. But in any case, I think this is more of a case of you just standing still long enough for this very important component to come into something to help you really achieve your goal. Empress energy, Three of Swords, and the King. So we have 2 threes talking about bonding, loyalty, patience, virtue. These are all things associated with the number 3. Empress, you come in this week feeling very luxurious, feeling very confident. You're really taking a lot of time off for yourself. But interestingly enough, you do find out, or you encounter a bit of a heartbreak this week, right? With the 3 of Swords. You encounter a situation where someone just hasn't been very honest, right? And it's kind of a heartbreak in a way. But it is a Swords card, right? So this heartbreak with 3 of Swords is always associated with someone who's just been communicating, where their communication has been really base, really low vibration. They haven't been very honest. They've been very manipulative. They've said one thing and they've lied, or they've told you they love you and they don't, or they told you they're faithful and they're not. That's the kind of thing that's associated with this heartbreak, because it is a 3 of Swords, right? So it's a kind of disloyalty, in their actions and in their communication. And you find out about it this week, right? It's almost as if it all gets uncovered. But interestingly enough, there's a King of Swords who comes in. So could very well be that this King of Swords kind of comes into your rescue this week. Or it could also be, I'm going to say, Pisces, for some of you, this particular scenario makes you kind of embody this King of Swords in the sense that your attitude towards it later on this week is that you want to find out everything. Okay, you want to know everything. How long have you been lying, or how long has this been going on? You want to have heart-to-heart conversations, because that's what King of Swords is all about. Getting to the truth, not holding anything back, no holds barred. And it's really like, it's not even so much that you're so heartbroken, but you feel quite like indignant. Like, how dare you try to sort of insult my intelligence, or how dare you try to lie to me or break my heart. And rather than sort of moping in the pain of it all, you really go on the offensive with this King of Swords, in a sense that you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, right? Yeah, you really, certainly because you come into the week with a lot of self-confidence. And I think for some of you, Pisces, you already had an inkling about this, but it's the fact that this week the kind of proof of the pudding comes out, and you really get to work with this King of Swords, getting to the bottom of it. Hermit, 9, 8 strength, and 8 of swords. So we have double 8s again. Another major arcana 8 and a suit 8. Interesting. We just had the Empress and the 3 of swords. So it was a suit 3 and major arcana 3. Very interesting. So anyway, some of you certainly, and I will touch upon that, but 8s, of course, are numbers for strength, right? Borders, boundaries, strengths, and weaknesses. But you come into the week with a Hermit energy, and it's certainly like, for some of you, you are coming out of a period of solitude, period of really working on yourself, doing a lot of shadow work. You may have really taken some time out to sort of get your head together, rest, recuperate after a lot of struggle, perhaps, most recently. But in any case, you come into the week very kind of serene, very contemplative, right? And you realize through this meditative period, you really realize that a particular situation, you've had enough. You realize enough is enough, because that strength comes in, and strength talks about that. Strength talks about understanding and knowing when to give in, when to say enough is enough, when because sometimes we keep taking on, and we overwhelm ourselves with the amount that we take on. And the thing with strength card is understanding what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and how much is too much, right? And learning how to say, no. Learning how to put boundaries in place and saying, no, I'm not willing to take more of this abuse, or I'm not willing to take more of this dynamic that is just wearing me down, or, you know what I mean? Take on extra guilt or responsibilities that aren't mine to take on. And so you really stand up to someone, and indeed, I think you really stand up to someone who's been, I'm going to say, for some of you, this might have been a very toxic situation with the 8 of swords. You really stand up to somebody who's been kind of an energy sucker. They've been kind of like really, maybe one of the reasons why you pulled away in the first place was dealing with this person, but you come back and deal with them this week again. And they're just, this 8 of swords is the person who's very stuck in their ways. They're unwilling to sort of, they're unwilling to compromise. It's their way or their highway. They're often alienated by their narcissistic behavior. This can also be the gaslighter, or the person who plays the victim card all the time. They never really take responsibility for their actions. And so I think you deal with this week, and I think you have a real conversation with this person, and you really kind of like realize enough is enough. This could very well be the end of a very toxic connection, only because you've had some time on your own to get your own strength back together. Lovers, 6, 10 of swords, and 2 of pentacles. Well, some of you have made a love connection, a beautiful love connection with someone. It could very well be, yes, a new love, right? Lovers is in. It's a harmonious connection. It proves to be a really sort of long-term, perfect sort of union, a soulmate connection, right? And for some of you, this connection proves to be the end of a long period of struggle, long period of heartache and searching perhaps for this union. You feel absolutely complete because the Ten of Swords has come in. It's like you are absolutely complete and you feel like the worst of your time is now behind you because you have made this really beautiful connection. And you really come out the end of this week kind of looking to the future. Two of Pentacles talks about really juggling a lot of financial issues, issues to do with environment, houses. You may now come out of this week suddenly juggling two houses or thinking about how to move forward. How do we move forward? How do we, join our lives together? And so Two of Pentacles can indicate a period really of change, right? Two of Pentacles generally talks about a period of change in your environment and kind of the ups and downs that go with that. And yeah, there will be indeed some of you, this new love connection will indeed prove to be a real challenge, perhaps in the world of finances, the material world, your environment, so that you two can be together, right? There will be a lot of flux, but it will absolutely be well worth it because this is a great connection. And for you, this is nothing compared to where you were at with this Ten of Swords. Coming out of this really dark period, this difficult period, maybe a very lonely period, a challenging period, is really wonderful. Certainly certainly with this love connection hand in hand, this is a great coming out into the sun, coming out into the light, coming out into a period of your life where you can really go forward in love. And so this little bit of flux and up and down and change and maybe a little bit of anxiety on how to move forward in a practical way with this connection is really nothing compared to where you've been. All right, Pisces, this is a beautiful reading, and it's a beautiful forecast to end on, and I'm going to stop it here. This is your October 27th to November 3rd reading. Thank you so much for stopping by Bow and Arrow Tarot. I really do appreciate it, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notified of my uploads. I do upload pretty much every day, and certainly on the weekends, the weeklies. And next week, of course, there'll be more of the November love readings. But for right now, I'm just going to say, Pisces, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll see you next week for your weekly. Bye-bye now.